I was like so fucking hyped to hear that when he told me that, and he didn't tell me. Actually, we were in Denver at Energy Tech Showcase, and he's like, dude. He's like, I just landed a $500,000 contract because of some intel that I got from Donovan Ventures at the Collective dinner.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, that is so fucking awesome, man. Like,
that is.
There's just that's the type of stuff that I want happening.
Podcasts are powerful too. I mean, the last podcast we did last week in Louisiana, just the mention of our company and podcast got us a new customer. I mean,
Did really?
Yeah. I mean, that's
man.
That's the thing, and we'll communicate. I mean, if we get anything out of this, I mean, we'll communicate because I know that helps you.
It does. Like John Farrell, he was at dinner with us last week too. He's like, man, I keep meaning to write you guys a testimonial. And I'm like, yeah, I fucking appreciate it. We got you 36 leads from our podcast.
Every startup that we've ever had on the podcast, or really in the ecosystem, every single one was on there. To where now it's like, I'm working at, say, Noble, and I'm like, well, now I'm put in charge of buying whatever kind of technology. Where do I go?
Think about operators in general. It's like, where are your biggest problems? And they're like, where do I start? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, we were at $100 oil, a couple of years ago. Now we're at what, $55?
Yeah.
We're laying people off. We need to cut corners. I'm doing 10 people's jobs right now, and
yeah.
And they don't have time to.
Yeah, that's really, we want to create this portal where operators can go and look at, discover technologies. We've already been told, people are listening to our podcasts and discovering new technologies. The listener retention on our podcasts, every episode is over 90%. So when someone starts one,
they've listened all the way through.
Yeah, 90% of people that come on.
I mean, I think it's one thing to come on and pitch your product for 45 minutes, but it's another thing to be like, this is my story. Because we all sit there when it's like, hey, I just quit my career to go help my wife, and now I need to get back into the industry. It's like, what the hell do I do? Like, how do I raise money? How do I...
So imagine if you're able to see your demo, but then also have a link to like the podcast right there as well. It's like, it's another connecting with you as a person.
Because you're not just coming on here and pitching rig call out. Mm-hmm. You're telling a story, and they're connecting with the story. And it's so hard to tell stories, especially in oil and gas, that people, that's what they connect to. And dude, this podcast that we have with David Ramsdenwood is probably the highest rated verbal feedback podcast that we have, and it's because David came on there and was like extremely vulnerable.
Yeah, he's like, I screwed it up.
Yeah,
I was
he's
prideful.
Like,
my
wife and kids were leaving me, had no money, got fired. I'm like, God damn, dude, like this guy's like spilling it all out.
And you know what? I would actually watch that video because I would love to see your responses as he's explaining that. Like.
Alright, so as you can see by our setup here, got lots of Panasonic cameras, got our podcast equipment, got our high-tech lamp from Target for our studio lighting. We're set up for video on our podcast now, so looking forward to dropping our podcast episodes in video format on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook, hopefully starting this week or next week. We're trying to play with it, see what works. Right now, our biggest issue is that we're going through a shitload of data and storage. In the last week alone, we've almost done 160 gigabytes of video alone. So now we have a storage capacity issue, but we'll get it figured out.
We're also being evicted from our studio in 28 days. And our new office and studio is not going to be ready until September. I hate the fact that we keep bringing up that we're moving offices, but it's just the nature of the business. We've switched offices like 4 times since we started creating content. It kind of just happens. So we'll most likely be moving into the new building at the Cannon, at least for a month, maybe.
I mean, we had a whole vlog about how we were moving to the Cannon.
Yeah.
And
something unexpected happened.
Things changed. Yeah. We ended up, our office is going to be downtown Houston, but it's not going to be ready until September, so we need a place to work and record podcasts until then. So we're gonna be moving over. We still got our 2 offices at the Cannon. We'll be there. We're gonna set up a makeshift studio. We'll record over there. We're probably just gonna take our trusty podcasting table with us and record over there. But once we get our badass studio made, man, we're gonna have this set up. We're gonna have Shure mics, mic booms, real studio lighting.
Might even get like a soundboard with like the.
Yeah, we need We need our buttons and sound effects for sure. So we're gonna be stepping up the content game. Q3, Q4, 2019, gonna be taking it to the next level. So we're
all this is for you
it.
guys. So let us know what you want to see. We're putting so much into building our team, bringing on more team members full time to help us produce more content, better content, different kinds of content. So obviously, we get a lot of great feedback from you guys and from the community, whether it's just people that we know, our friends in the collective group. So just kind of let us know what are the kind of things that you guys would like to see moving forward for the last half of 2019.
Yeah, we've been actually going ham on podcast recordings.
We have a huge backlog now.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say huge, but we've been doing good. Testing
Huge
out
backlog.
with the video, because the week before that we did Novi Labs, we did Cleargistics, and we did the Oilfield Marketplace by Hexacom. So yeah, man, we've just been hitting it hard. I think we did an episode with Geochemica, but we didn't have the video set up yet. So man, we've got about 7 episodes in the pipeline. I think actually 8 ready to be released. But we're gonna just keep recording, keep pumping out content. Really looking forward to going heavier on the video side. I think that the video conversations from the podcast are gonna be pretty big. There's Samir. Samir's, if you haven't got introduced to him yet, he's our intern for the summer. Also, we call him the legal fall guy, just in case we have any legal issues. We're blaming it on him. He's taking full responsibility. So guys, hope that you enjoy the podcast video that we're about to put out. Check out these quick clips and get a sneak peek of what's to come.
A lot of the oil companies we helped get online in the 99 timeframe, you'd ask them, why are you doing this? And they're like, I don't know, because everyone's getting a website, right? So we should be online, right? I mean, they didn't really think a lot about who are the stakeholders, what am I trying to tell them? They're just like, we should have some information about the company, and our stock ticker should be on our webpage. And it was in the early days of analytics, the pioneering days, 14, 15, when companies were just starting to get going, the answer was the same. Like, why are you doing advanced analytics? What is it about machine? Well, I don't know. I want to put it in our investor relations materials and say we're doing analytics and machine learning, man. I got to be on the bandwagon, because I don't want to be left out. I don't want to not have an answer when I'm asked these questions by analysts or whatever.
Original company was founded back in 2011.
Okay.
And it was founded as a way to get information from offshore vessels in the Gulf of Mexico to their shore-based offices, primarily in the southern Louisiana, Lafayette, Venice, etc.
Okay.
And so, company ticked up, and then the oil downturn lost its major customer. And so one of that group of investors that I work for the services company had invested in the software company. And so he asked me to come take a look at it and, hey, what do you think? And so I took a look at it, and it was like, well, the oil offshore is going to be pretty down, and this was in 2015. But huge opportunity in connecting the field and the office for oilfield services companies. Again, haven't lived in that world for a while. And I think we can repurpose our software to do that. And so that was kind of the start. And he said, I'll fund it, you go run it. And so that's why I wound up here.
I guess we all recognize, anybody that's been part of the buying and selling game in the oil field industry, just knows how inefficient it really is, right? Mm-hmm. How in the end, neither the buyer nor the seller gets what they want some of the time, right? It's just the way the processes are set up, and the lack of transparency. And so we said, shoot, I think this is my shot to kind of make it happen. We pitched it to the leadership team, and they were all on board. And so they saw the truth in what we were talking about in terms of the commercial efficiency of an e-commerce platform. Bought into it, and we signed our initial partner contracts in May of 2018, and that was the start of the process.
All the different companies that I was working for, and I saw remote ops within those companies, they never offered the service outside of themselves, right? They all kept it internal. And I saw such a larger market for it. Why not share this with everybody, right? All the majors already have this and have a really nice setup, right? Super sweet, got all these proprietary programs and all this really neat stuff that they've developed, and makes everything optimized, and everything's built into a dashboard, and everybody can log in and see it. But not very many independents had the pocketbook to be able to do it, right? A few of them did, and a few of them found some cheaper ways to do it. But again, they never offered it to anybody else, which I do understand in part, but you can make a lot more money if you offered it to everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I saw the opportunity, and the company I was working with at the time gave me some ultimatums. Some structure changes were happening at the company I was working at, and quite personally, I felt undervalued. So I just took all my money and walked off the rig February 5th, started my company February 6th.
If you look at tech, if you download an app on your phone, if you use Salesforce or any product on your computer, they're asking you all the time, would you refer this to a friend? Do you like this? Give us your feedback. They're screaming for the feedback because they want to build something you want. You don't see that anywhere in the oil field. Look, when you bring anything into an oil and gas company or a service company, they're looking for those efficiencies. We tell the story of the Rice brothers all the time. Those guys were notorious for, how can we carve out 3 minutes here? How can we carve out 5 minutes there? How can we save costs, reduce time, get from 7-day wells to 6.7-day wells? And, they would do things like, when does your crew go to the bathroom? When do they tool up? When do they put all their stuff together? When do they walk up to the rig floor? And if there's a piece of that schedule where they can save 3 minutes, well, that's what you're going to do. And so, it'll be neat to see the industry kind of morph into, how are we doing? Get into the metrics. How can we be better and more efficient? Because we are, stuck in this cycle of $50 to $70 oil, and it's just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And how can we be profitable in that?
Absolutely.